I just talked to my cousin for the first time in a couple of years, and she told me she has cirrhosis of the liver. Well, what are we going to do about it? Does she have to live with it? No. Can we get rid of cirrhosis? Of course. But you want to get on this girl quick. All right, so you got to hit the kidneys, the adrenals, get into the bowels, get the GI tract, so stomach and bowel, lymphatic 1 capsules. You're going to do the kidney capsules. You're going to do another kidney. You want to hit the adrenals. You want to do the liver gallbladder form. You want to start moving that lymph because your liver's eating itself up. You want to move that lymph, get those acids out of that liver. Castor oil packs over her liver will help with the inflammation. Start moving that lymph, and you'll start pulling all that out of her liver there. Even if she does somehow, yeah, she can use the any more so alcohol is an unlikely reason. Well, yeah, this isn't alcohol. You know, that's, and you bring up a good point. Everybody thinks when you have liver problems, you're an alcoholic. Well, we're an alcoholic in a different way. If you have weak adrenal glands and you're not metabolizing sugars and you're eating starch, you're probably an alcoholic. We call it candida, but really one of the side effects isn't just candida. One of the side effects of fermentation is alcohol. But this is deeper than alcohol. This is interstitial lymphatic constipation. So this is much more serious. And this has to be remedied to rebuild that liver. She's got to move lymph, so there's no rebuilding no liver. And she can rebuild that liver. I had a ton of cirrhosis cases. I mean, this is just something you can take care of this. I would really love to hear your take. Oh, absolutely. She said that it is possible that she could die within a year or live with it for up to around 30 years. Yeah. Either way, she is only 35. 35-year-old female. Look at this. And that's what I'm saying, guys. We got weak kidneys. We got weak adrenal glands. We're not filtering our lymphs, and our lymphs are chewing us up. And that's what this poor thing is dealing with. Now, it is way too soon. Also, she said it was incurable. As long as she thinks it's incurable, it could be incurable for her. So this cousin of yours needs to look at the YouTube site, especially this video, pick herself up and say, you know what? I'm not going to take it anymore. That's right. I'm not going to take it anymore. Matter of fact, we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to get strong. We're going to get knowledged up, and we're going to rebuild tissue because that's God's way. You can do that. And that's not meant as a cliche. That is meant as the power of the Creator. Whoever you think it is. Take a look around at what it created. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And so look at this. Yeah. So, Dean, tell your cousin, don't fall into that incurable bull crap. That's medical doctors. They can't cure anything anyway. Everything's incurable. Hadn't you noticed that yet? So really, you've got to get into this, get in on the detox program, and save her life. So look at all this. You rebuild what you have and make new what you have. Does that make better sense? Absolutely. I have two things to say or ask. First, my husband has cirrhosis, stage 4 liver failure. Oh, wow. 29 years old. What? 29 years old? Now, big time genetic weaknesses, right? All right, so what's the first thing you got to do? First thing you got to do in cirrhosis of the liver, cancer of the liver, who cares what level, it's all the same stuff, man. By the time you're in cirrhosis, your liver's getting chewed up, right? So how do you get relief? First, you're going after that GI tract. You're not going to do a liver flush. You do not do liver flushes or anything like that with cirrhosis or advanced liver deterioration. What you want to do is be gentle, be loving, right? You can use the liver gallbladder formula, no problem, absolutely. But what do you want to get? What's chewing up the liver? We're back to the wall again. What's chewing up the liver? Acids or base? Alkalins. Acids or base? Oh, you guys again, right? So what system are you going to honk on? You're going to honk on that lymph system, aren't we? You could do some castor oil packs. I don't know if I'd use castor oil. You could use castor oil, big anti-inflammatory, but great seed oil, not only anti-inflammatory, but nutritive. So, I mean, you can use some oils like that and do a little bit of a compress over the liver there, just a little bit to get some remedy there. But you want to make sure that diet is pure. No proteins going down that mouth. Not good turnout on that one. So you really want to get into the fruits and the berries and the melons, but I would stay away from the acid fruits. I would stay a little more balanced. Matter of fact, this one you might add a green drink a day on this one. You know, you can do that. Not too much because you don't want to stress the liver. You don't. You know, you're looking at the simplest food creates the less stress, right? In any tissue in the human body. And so your fruits and your berries are your least complex of the foods, particularly the fruits. And that's what you're trying to do. They're nutritive, energetic, and less complex for the body to deal with. But of course that's what you want to go for. You're electrifying, you're hydrating, you're bringing in alkaline chemistry. I wouldn't fast them. You want to bring in some chemistry, some energetic chemistry to this person. I wouldn't touch the lymph system right now. I wouldn't touch it with a lymph formula. All the lymphatic formulas are hard on the liver. These are tough herbs. The 1 through 4, not so much. But number 5, tough on the liver. Poke root, blood root. We all will admit it. But it's also one of the finest tumor busters on the planet. So one outweighs the other. But that's how you were doing. 29 years old, absolutely. And go after those adrenal glands. Licorice. He might have high blood pressure right now, but could have very low too. So use the licorice root. It is a good anti-inflammatory and it's great to bring up the blood pressure. But what bringing up the blood pressure means is bringing up neurotransmitters and hopefully steroids. You want to bring up the pull of steroids, anti-inflammatories, cortisol, any of those. Natural alkaline anti-inflammatory steroids. The body can use them. The concern is the liver getting fatty with that, with lipids, because it's fighting acidosis. You know, that's why you see your fatty anything. Fatty livers, fatty kidneys, fatty whatever. You know, it's just the body trying to stop acidosis. And when you realize that and you go back and you work on the kidneys, you get yourself filtering, and you get this system hydrated, then all that backs down. Everybody backs down. Like the swelling, everybody backs down. But you got to get it out. And that's you're trying to find tools to help us when it does swell like that. Well, the lymphatic formula is the best thing I can tell you for that. And we need a little help with liver regeneration, I would think so. 29 years young. Oh my God. Got to save the hubby. There's no, you're not going to let him go into liver failure. It's not difficult. He can turn it around. It might take him a little while because cirrhosis is pretty advanced. So, but just hang in there. Let the liver is an incredible regenerative organ. It'll regenerate when you beat it, throw it down, and drive over it with a car. It'll still regenerate. So, I mean, you know, it just needs the right soothing chemistry. Grapes, grapes, grapes. Apples, apples, apples. Red Delicious, by the way. Now, his sister, 39 years old, says she can't eat fruit to get the tumor out because she has diabetes. Well, I respond one of two ways. First of all, you got to bring her up to speed on blood sugars and sugars in food. And I'm going to go to this again. Mother's milk. Number 1 ingredient is carbohydrates. Sugar. That's your sugars. Number 1 ingredient of mother's milk is your sugars. Why? Sugars are what in chemistry? Carbon predominantly. Everything has a hydrogen element to it almost, but you've got your carbon chains. Your carbon chains, as mentioned earlier, is for energy. The key component of life is energy, I have to tell you. Not protein, not structure. So, the second component, which is half that, is your lipid, your lymphatic system. Then you're down to your carriers and maybe some bodybuilding. Minimal. So your sister has to learn that she's listening to bull crap and propaganda. Type 1. All right? What they call type 1, basically, is the islands of Langerhans, the beta cells in the pancreas, no longer giving the insulin that is needed for glucose or above. Now, what's interesting about that is glucose is a simple sugar. It is this predominant simple sugar of vegetables, where fructose is the obvious predominant simple sugar of fruit. Different chemical makeups, different food, different simple sugars. Hello. Remember, fruit tastes sweet, like water feels wet, but water's still just 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen. Something like that is so wet, and the universal solvent, the divine. Amazing. So, type 1, your body doesn't use insulin for fructose. That's the superiority of it. So, it goes right to a cell. So, if you're a type 1, it only takes a short period of time and your blood sugars will actually go down and balance out. Type 2 is the adrenals. That's sugar metabolism problems, and you don't matter what sugar you have. You want to avoid the complexes, but you can't avoid the simple or you kill yourself. You do not avoid simple sugars or you get ketosis and acidosis and death will be yours. So, wrong way of thinking. So, sugars, the simple sugars, will keep the blood sugar bump to a minimum, and you carry on and fix the gland, the adrenal glands. Yep, these are fixable items, guys. Easy to fix the adrenals and blood sugars. Type 2, that's about the easiest you got out there. And I might add, if you're a type 2, you also have what weakness? What does the adrenal gland sit on top? Kidneys. And so if you have kidneys, what do you have? The lymphatic system, the great sewer system of the human body. That's how vital understanding all this is for man to continue if he wants the species to continue. Understand things a little more. And she has to get her head spanked or enjoy your tumor and what follows. Enjoy your tumor and what follows. And it's nothing but pure hell. If you think taking a little juice like chemotherapy is nothing, go have some. Go have a nice little dose for lunch. See how you feel. You know, you have to realize there's some souls that can't get with opening their awareness. They just are so locked. They trust without awareness. And it's been the death of many, many, many people. So all I can say is I hope your sister can listen to you. Well, the truth is in clinical work. All I do is echo what I see. I have no reason to tell you something that doesn't exist or that I just is my concept. I only work with what works. With what doesn't work, we throw it out. If we're doing something that's not doing good, we get rid of it or we augment it. We don't stay with things that don't work. Our whole gig is getting you well. Period. John, Mr. John, I am writing to you in care of my wife. She spends most of her days in pain, and I'm wondering if there is any hope for her to recover. Hell yes, man. Are you kidding? She is 64 years old. 64 years old. She's younger than I am. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm 54. Oh, look at this. And has been diagnosed about 2 months ago with alcoholic cirrhosis of liver with ascites. In other words, she's filling up with fluid in the gut, in the abdomen. Oh, God, that's not fun. Oh, she's advanced. PHT, portal hypertension, interesting, and pain, abdominal, generalized, of course, systemic, man, systemic. She is also having a difficult time trying to quit smoking. I think she may be ready to get on board with the protocol that you would recommend. Could you please help? I'll be glad to help. John? All right. So there's one thing for sure. She's got to stop the alcohol. That's one thing for sure. You can switch to these glycerin formulas for a little while, but they need metabolized by the liver. I'd rather you see you use the alcohol tinctures, even though she has had alcohol that created this. Right? Partly, not just all. That's a lymph system involved in this as well. So, get on the 14-week protocol. That's the easiest, quickest way I can tell you. Get on the 14-week protocol or send it in. I'll write you one. However you want to do that, get with a counselor, but you want to get her going. You'll pull her cirrhosis out. Depends how advanced, depends how long that's going to take. You've got to clean up her GI tract to get the liver to come clean. You've got to get the kidneys and adrenals up so she can start filtering the lymphatic system again. Pull all this inflammation out of the liver, gallbladder area. She probably has a little pancreatic involvement too. It's hard to have one without a little on the other. I'm telling you, they're on the opposite sides of the same street. So, you know, this is the system down here. It's why she's feeling pain all over herself. This is like a fibromyalgia, systemic pain. And systemic pain is simply systemic acidosis. Where does acids come from? Everything you eat is then converted to acids after its life has been sucked out of it. Acids is the last metabolitic waste of the human body, parasitic waste. Everything's excreted through the kidneys or skin, and you're in good shape. Or not. If you're not filtering, you're holding these wastes in. So your wife isn't filtering from her kidneys well, particularly on the right side. So that, exacerbated with alcohol, exacerbated this high deterioration of the liver. But you can get that back. The liver loves to regenerate, so don't count her out at all. It can regenerate this. Done it many times in my world. Get out of pain. To get out of pain is to get out of acids. Well, every time she smokes, and I review this video, John, but every time she smokes, if she's going to smoke, get a water pipe. Get her a water pipe. She can't break the habit of smoking, get her a water pipe. Because you've got to get her away from direct ingestion of combusted chemistry. That's all acidic, no buffer of liver, goes right into her lungs, right through interstitially, right into the blood. So she's losing calcium from this majorly. I mean, this is a big deal. And of course, that acidifies the blood, and you can feel it all through your body. So she's in trouble, and she's got to wake up to that and fix herself. It's easy to fix yourself. So you don't count herself out. You can fix yourself. Medical doctors don't know how to fix you. Most naturopaths don't know how to fix you. Very fixable. But don't let your wife deteriorate down, and don't play with interferon or anything bull crap like that. She's in trouble with the ascites, though. I'll tell you about that. Filling up. When your body starts filling up with fluids, you're in trouble. And this is serious because you've got congestive heart failure, pulmonary edema. You've got all kinds of things to consider. She's highly inflamed in the bowels and gut. You know, interstitially, she's backed up. You know, she's malabsorbed. She's all these things. But you simply start her on the 2-week kit, deworming and everything else. You start her on the fruits, berries, and melons, and you start moving her car down the road. And pretty soon, the car will get a little more speed, her body will get a little better, a little better, a little better, a little better, and pretty soon she'll be looking in the rear view mirror at all these problems. But she has to take full responsibility and learn what we're talking about here and the system that she has to deal with and work herself out of this. Not difficult if she has the strength and the tenacity and the willingness to do it. She's only 64, so not to do it would be a cop-out, but what am I going to say about it? So do your best, John. Let your wife review this, but you get on our herbal program. We have herbs that clean the liver, but you have to understand the lymphatic system. This is huge. You can't just give her liver herbs. You'll go nowhere with that. Nope, can't do that. You want a systemic work where you're working on the systems involved and you're working on all these other things that she's going to have connecting to this. All right? And I'm taking for an answer.